Good evening, everyone. I'm Bhavna Devas, Secretary of Students Forum of Veterinary Association of India, and it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to today's webinar. This special event is organized by the VEI Students Forum to celebrate the International Women's Day. We are delighted to have such inspiring speakers with us today, and we are truly grateful to everyone who has taken the time to join this session. So before we begin, I would like to briefly introduce the wonderful team behind this event. So joining me today as co-host is Ms. Ashita. She is president of the VAI ACVM local chapter, and she has been instrumental in coordinating this event. This webinar has been organized under the guidance of Dr. Varsha Nanotkar. She is president of the VAI Women Vets Forum. We're also grateful for the support of Dr. Vandana Bhagat, Assistant Professor in the Department of Livestock Production and Management at the College of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry, Anjura, who has been a valuable co-organizer for this event. On behalf of the Veterinary Association of India, we thank them for their dedication in making this event possible. Now over to Ashita to begin our event.
Good evening, everybody. International Women's Day is more than just a celebration. It is a reminder of the progress made by women across every field and the continued efforts needed to ensure equal opportunities and leadership roles. In veterinary science and animal health, women are increasingly leading groundbreaking research, strengthening animal welfare initiatives, shaping public health policies, and inspiring the next generation of veterinarians. Today's session is dedicated to recognizing these contributions and learning from women who have carved impactful paths in diverse areas such as wildlife conservation, veterinary capacity building, public health, and community development. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our esteemed speakers for today. Our first speaker is Dr. Ilona Otter, a veterinarian and internationally recognized expert in veterinary capacity building and animal welfare. Dr. Otter has been deeply involved in international veterinary training programs and rabies control initiatives, particularly in India. She has worked extensively to improve access to veterinary care, humane dog population management, and rabies elimination programs in underserved communities. She is also associated with Worldwide Veterinary Service, where she has played an important role in training veterinarians and strengthening veterinary services through practical surgical training and community outreach programs. Through her work, Dr. Otter has helped bridge gaps in veterinary education, empower veterinarians with practical skills, and improve animal welfare across regions where veterinary services are limited. We are truly honored to have her with us today to share her insights and experiences. Our second speaker is Dr. Ratna, currently serving as Professor and Dean at the Lingo Mudyal College of Agriculture and Research Center, Narayanpur, Chhattisgarh. Dr. Nashin has had an outstanding academic and service oriented career. During her student years at Nagpur University, she received several prestigious honors, including the Best Student Award, the Yasir Arafat Gold Medal for securing first position among all faculties, Lady Amritbai Daga Puraskar, and Maharshi Karve Puraskar. She has made significant contributions to academia with 3 books, 27 bulletins, numerous educational publications, and more than 20 research papers. Beyond academics, Dr. Nashin is widely recognized for her community outreach and social impact initiatives. For her exceptional service, she received the National Service Scheme Award 2022-2023 from the Honorable President of India, Smith Draupadi Murmu. We are honored to have you here today with us, ma'am. Our third speaker for the day is Dr. Bommu Reddy, who is currently pursuing her master's degree in veterinary public health and epidemiology. Dr. Meenakshi Reddy has gained significant experience working as a project associate in Project Cheetah, contributing to one of India's most ambitious wildlife conservation programs. She has also participated in wildlife research activities such as camera trapping, wildlife identification, and field data collection, working closely with veterinarians, ecologists, and forest department teams. Thank you for joining us, doctors. We are honored to have you as our speakers.
Before we move forward with the speaker session, I would like to make an important announcement from the Veterinary Association of India. The VAI will soon be launching a research mentorship and internship program for girl veterinary students. This program is designed as a summer research opportunity where selected undergraduate veterinary students will have the chance to work under the guidance of experienced women professors and researchers in their laboratories. The aim of this initiative is to encourage early research exposure, mentorship, academic growth among the girl vet students. More details regarding the eligibility, application procedures, and the program structure will soon be available on the official Veterinary Association of India website. So we strongly encourage all the interested students to keep an eye out on the website and apply for this exciting opportunity. So with that, we will now begin our speaker sessions. We will first invite Dr. Ilona Otter to share her insights and experiences with us. Dr. Otter, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Bhavna. Thank you, Ashita. Thank you for Veterinary Association in India for organizing this webinar. And thank you for inviting me. I had very little time to prepare any interesting slides or anything, to be honest, and I'm very sorry about that. However, I felt that maybe it's actually kind of fits for this type of webinar. I understand we have not only women in the audience, but in a way, kind of like talking between a lot of women here. It's probably nicer just to talk. Unfortunately, of course, I don't see the faces of my audience, but yeah. So I'm not having any slides, and I hope we can sort of have some questions and there can be a little discussion at the end of it, and I will definitely leave time for that. So yeah, the topic of today's talk is expanding horizons, and I think that is really fitting if I also think of like my career and the sort of different opportunities that veterinary medicine has provided, and many of them are such that I would not have guessed or known when I was a student, like what I end up doing. Like as a vet student, did I think that I would be teaching surgery in India one day? Probably. I mean, obviously I didn't think of that. But veterinary medicine, what I love about it really is the options that there are, and the fact that even if you take some direction for some time, you have still all the opportunities to expand your horizons and try something else after some years. And so I started in mixed practice, sort of rural livestock focused mixed practice in Finland. I did that type of work for a couple of years. So I did cow C-sections and mastitis cases and vaccinated farm cats and inseminated horses and all the range of it. And I thought initially that I wanted to do more, like that was my sort of interest to start with. I did masters from RVC London in livestock health and development because I was really into the sort of rural livelihoods type of work. Which was originally also the reason I got interested in coming to India. However, my experience in India sort of really quite soon took me into the dog population management and like a humane dog population management, dog welfare, spay neuter, rabies control work. And I began to get into that more and more. And at some point I was then jokingly saying that I'm a cow vet who is teaching small animal surgery. So now I wouldn't call myself anymore a cow vet. That part. Those times are a little long gone. I did do a C-section a couple of months ago, but apart from that, it's been more small animals. So I ended up then working with WVS, Worldwide Veterinary Service, with the idea of veterinary surgical capacity building, and that has been really meaningful. And much needed, I think, because when you look at the dog population issues, the roaming dog population matters in India. And those of you who've been following also like these recent situations with this Supreme Court case that goes around, all the discussions that are going around about what to do with the roaming dog population and how to manage it and what is needed. And oftentimes, most of the time, what's being focused, I feel, is a lot about like, oh, buildings, or like we need APC centers, or we need more APC programs, or we need more infrastructure in terms of, you know, whatever vehicles or surgery tables or things like that. But not much is spoken about the fact that none of that works unless we have skilled veterinarians actually doing the work. So the capacity building that's required, you know, to introduce and maintain surgical skills, and have opportunities for veterinarians to develop the spay neuter surgical skills, so that, you know, these APC centers can be then filled with skilled people who will do the work. So that's I feel there is a sort of a missing, there's been a missing link in that sort of surgical preparedness. And with WVS work, we've been trying to address that for the last 16 years by developing specific like a surgery focused, spay neuter surgery focused surgical, you know, training, capacity building training programs. Even though these programs, they are called spay neuter training or whatever, you know, like all kinds of sort of working terminology that goes around, I always want to emphasize that it's not just about spay neuter, because these skills that we are teaching on, like the spay neuter surgery and being part of a high volume spay neuter program, provides such a beautiful opportunity to develop a lot of other important clinical skills, which are useful then regardless whether you work in an actual APC center or not. So basically, kind of everything starting from, you know, how you prepare aseptically for surgery, you know, sterile gloving, putting on gloves, and you know, fixing IV lines, and then of course, you know, the anesthesia monitoring, different types of anesthetic sort of cocktails. Are we using IV? What kind of IV drugs we're using? Are we using gas anesthesia? And then the actual surgical approach, like tissue handling, responsible use of antibiotics in surgery. All these skills that we incorporate into the surgical, the spay neuter training, so-called, are actually just like foundational sort of day one competencies that are really needed, you know, whichever field in clinical veterinary medicine you start in. So say trauma wounds, you know, which are really common in India, bite wounds, you know, they are much better handled when you have that sort of basic confidence and capacity to do surgical procedures or sedate, and perform a little bit of anesthesia and all that. So the benefit and the meaningfulness for me in these spay neuter programs that we've been running for 16 years is not just that the vets kind of get to work, like whether the vets get to work in APC centers. I do believe it's something that increases the overall ability to handle clinical cases and provides a good kind of a starting some sort of like a launching pad, you know, for clinical career. And I think that's why the programs have become so popular, is that because their skills are so applicable to, like, we've had vets sending back feedback saying that, oh, thanks to the course, I was able to do a cow C-section successfully, even though we don't talk about cows and we don't really talk about C-sections on the spay neuter course, but it's the skills, the basic surgical skills, and the approach is so applicable across the different species and scenarios. And that's what I find it's really important and in these programs. And there is such a great opportunity for vets in India to develop their surgical skills if they just kind of get into operating dogs. So it is really, I don't know, I hope there are a lot of students or a lot of sort of young vets in the crowds here in the audience, but I always emphasize that you have to keep doing the routine thing, like when you keep doing the spay neuter, you know, for which there's a lot of opportunities in India, you develop the routine that you eventually will use when you have to handle some large tumor or even a GDV case. But if you don't have that routine, if you haven't done the routine surgeries and the routine anesthesias and develop that, then it's quite hard, to attend an emergency case when it comes. But if we build up a routine, by doing repeatedly something that's, commonly available as a case, and a spay neuter is definitely something that India has a lot of need for, then, it helps us to grow professionally and able, we can handle other things as well. So that's like sort of the thing about the spay neuter training, and what I've been doing for many years, and I'm still doing. Over the last couple of years, I've began to also think a lot more in terms of the importance of mentorship, and not just in early career vets, but also sort of mid-career people like me. And then I feel that that's something that probably needs still developing a lot more in the veterinary sector, not just in India, but kind of worldwide. I did a 1-year course in veterinary mentoring by an American group called MentorVet. And it was very helpful. One of those things to expand my horizons, definitely at this sort of mid-career stage. I began to think and understand a lot more about things like veterinary professional identity, and really the importance of like mentorship and coaching and peer support, also at the mid-career level, and how important it is to maintain, sort of connections that, again, probably for us women, I don't know, many who are at this stage as me probably can associate that, when you are in the 30s, probably like growing, you've got small children, and, your career, like life can get really busy, and for women specifically. And perhaps that's the time when we often then, we are there for everybody else, and we might then forget to maintain certain relationships for ourselves, like, within our networks, because we are limited, also, like, and the children and family, of course, takes time, but it is important to maintain, some good relationships within the profession, as well as, of course, outside of the profession. And then, again, once you are sort of through the busiest rush years with small children, you can kind of expand your horizons again. And that's what I'm very much sort of experiencing at the moment, that I can see how there are still a lot of different kinds of opportunities that I'm interested in trying out and experiencing. So what I would like to say is that I definitely want more women. I mean, veterinary profession is becoming, worldwide, I think it's something like, I don't know what's the actual average worldwide in terms of women in veterinary medicine, to be honest. But of course, there are country-specific differences. But overall, there are more and more women around the world who are in the veterinary medicine. So it's more female. It's going to be more female dominating over the years here in India as well. And so just that women should also have, they should use our voice, and also get into, have opportunities in leadership, and making our voices heard. It's very important. And keeping, everybody kind of gets to hear that, you have to keep yourself updated. Like what you learn in college is not going to be the truth forever. But also we need to be, so besides of the sort of academic and procedural knowledge, I think it's important that we follow kind of what's happening in the field in a wider sense, and in the world. What are the things that are affecting the profession, kind of externalities, and we need to be aware of that, and be able to sort of develop alongside. Because if we just like we have to develop our clinical knowledge, we also have to develop the way we understand veterinary profession, the way we understand ourselves and our veterinary identities. All these things keep changing as the world keeps changing, and we keep, getting older. So it's important to sort of stay active and keeping interested and aware of what's happening, even through those years when it's a bit busy with small children and you might take a career break for some time. but try to maintain some connection so that you have something to catch on and hold on to as you sort of get back, if whoever is at that stage at the moment. Yeah, veterinary identities, professional identities, is something that I have most recently began to think about, and I'm quite interested in that. Like, and how it's important that also for young vets to kind of keep asking those questions, like, what are my values, and what kind of work I would like, and what kind of workplace I think I would like to be in, and am I more like a specialist type? Do I want to work in a referral practice and sort of specialize as high as can, or am I happy in a kind of a general practice doing bits and bobs of everything? Do I want to do small animals alone, or would I have some interest to also probably horses? Or so, I mean, it's important to keep asking these questions and not to be stuck. Whatever, like I said, I was a cow vet who then ended up teaching small animal surgery, and I really like the public health aspect of the rabies, how the rabies control and dog population management are linked. And now I'm also getting into just seeing how it is to set up a company of my own. So I'm kind of expanding my horizons a little bit into the to the business or the entrepreneur field as well, as a small business owner. So yeah, I'm not, I think I've probably spoken now more than I was supposed to, but if there are any questions at this point, then I would be very happy to hear, and we can talk. If there are any questions, otherwise, yeah, I don't know. Dr. Ashita, Dr. Bana?
Ma'am, our moderator is figuring out the question, so I think it'll
Right.
take like a
Okay.
minute.
Okay. Fine. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Yeah. No, it's that I can easily go on talking. But yeah, if there's anything of any interest that anybody wants to ask.
Anybody from the panel, if you all want to interact directly with ma'am, the floor is open for you guys. Some technical issue regarding the questions, so
Okay.
maybe.
Ma'am, I'd like to ask a question.
Okay.
Since many students here are going to be exploring different career paths in vet med, so what advice will you give specifically to the young vets, like you started with livestock, and what do you think we should pick going forward as an MVSc subject, or if we wish to explore residency options abroad?
Well, yeah, a very good question. But I think it's like there is no clear answer, because these, of course, are personal. Like each one is a different type of a person. But I think it's important to really kind of keep asking. Like when I was doing the mentoring program, they were sort of, they provided resources for all kinds of like value exercises, and like writing down, ranking your interest, and sort of like it could be helpful to really to kind of do some kind of like structured assessment of who I am in this profession, or what is my identity, what are my interests. And like, of course, the big question, if it comes to your like postgrad choices, would be, are you interested in a clinical career? Where do you see yourself in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years time? What kind of work environment, what kind of workplace you would like to have? And then because I think one big thing for the education system in India is that your postgraduate is either clinical or non-clinical, and it does not exclude the options afterwards, but of course it then takes you to one direction for a couple of years. So if you have an opportunity, and if you are able to decide and know that, yes, I'm a clinical person, I'm a non-clinical person, then that's, of course, it's a starting point. Whichever way you go, like even if you take a non-clinical postgrad, and then you want to be in clinical practice, of course that's not excluded. You can still, that door is not closed, you can get back to that, and it can be a useful addition to, and sort of deepening when you then eventually get into the clinical work, if that's what you want. So it's really just to think first, like what kind of life you want, what kind of, where you would like to see, where would you like to be working? Do you like to work outdoors? Do you want to work with people? Do you want to be like more like an indoor thing? Do you want to have a big team around you? Would you like rather work by yourself? Like I think these are the kind of, are you like a specialist, kind of a bit of a perfectionist sort of person who really wants to do one thing really, really well and understand everything about it? Or are you kind of happy to try different things? Because this is a difference between also being like a specialist type of identity, who would probably do best getting into like internships and doing, and eventually working in a referral hospital, like a cardiologist or neurologist or something like that. And then there are people who are, kind of ready to try a few different things and don't want to spend so much time on just learning one topic, but are quite happy to do different things. But if you are the sort of referral vet type, the specialist type, you might get frustrated if you are then in a general practice where a lot of owners may not be able to commit financially and time-wise, to that level of high-end diagnostics and treatment that you would like to provide. But then you have a clientele who is actually not able to do that. And so then you might get like, oh, I can't do my work well because, people can't, and they don't understand, or they can't afford. So that can create a conflict situation. So in like within yourself. So if you know that you are more like a referral type, like a specialist type of person, then of course taking steps towards that instead of struggling in a general practice is probably a wise thing to do. So that's and yeah, so listening to yourself, asking these questions yourself, I don't think there is something that what you should, because you are fit for something and another person is fit for something else, and you can change. The beauty of veterinary medicine, though, which has to be remembered, you can change and things, because we change, because the world around us changes and we change. So that means that after some time, after doing something for 10 years, you see things differently, and you start being like, oh, actually now I would like to try this more. And then you can change, you can try different things.
Thank you, Doctor. And I'll ask one more time if there is somebody else who would like to interact directly with you. And speakers also can ask something. Dr. Meenakshi, you are doing your MVSc in public health. And if there is something you want to ask Dr. Ilona.
Hello, Dr. Elena. Myself, Dr. Meenakshi. Belated Happy Women's Day to all the women that are present here in the panel. And I myself graduated recently, and I wanted to pursue my master's, but then I was not sure what subject to take up. So I really explored, and then, I analyzed myself. That is the only way that you can know, what you want to do. That's so true, whatever you have told.
Yeah. And that said, I have to say that since I come from the DVM education system, which is a like kind of inclusive of the master's level, so I never had to make that choice. Like I never had to decide what I want to do for my master's. I have done a separate master's then on top of the DVM, but at that point, where you make the decision on that, I didn't have that, because we just go on. but yeah, it is about like self-reflection and yeah.
And ma'am, I wanted to ask you whether my MVSc in veterinary public health and epidemiology will be credible in like other countries, or because they have different programs such as MPH, right, in UK and USA. So how
Mm.
does it work?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just want to know.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not. There are so many different ways nowadays, I think, and then again, I'm not from UK, so I but and I think there are all the differences whether you are going for like whether you want to get recognized into a clinical position or into a non-clinical. So I think if you
I want to go
uh,
for PhD, ma'am.
yeah.
PhD. Yeah.
So I could, but in terms of public health, I know I have one of our former employees and a present still good friend of mine. She did public health in the John Hopkins University in the US as her separate master's. If I remember right, she didn't do masters in India, so she did bachelor's here. She worked, and then she went to do the public health in and in John Hopkins, and she's working for FAO at the moment, in a doing something what she loves, you know. So what I'm saying is that in her case, for sure, she was able to get to that to abroad to do her further studies. And I think it's the more tricky part is if you want to get into like a licensed as a clinician. But if you take the academy route, if you are in the
Yes, ma'am.
academy, then it's easier and kind of more applicable. And I think in that case, I would see that you could go and go for a PhD.
Thank
Yes.
you so much for clearing my doubt. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Ilona. Your words and your inspiration and your experience has provided us great insights towards the deeper sides of veterinary medicine. Yes,
Can,
sir. Is there
can I
something
ask
you'd like?
some?
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Yes, I am Dr. S.K. Nanda from Odisha, India. That I know, I want to know what's the scope of veterinary in veterinary science at present, in the current scenario of One Health concept and IK, indigenous knowledge of system, all these things. What is the role of veterinary pharmacology?
I think in the first time in the question there was a mention of One Health. I didn't hear it now on the second time, but that's just like regarding that and pharmacology. I would like regarding One Health and pharmacology. What I would like to say here is about like antibiotic resistance and knowledge and information regarding that, which I think is pharmacology and One Health matter. I don't know if this is sort of answering the question, but I think veterinarians' role in promoting responsible use of antibiotics and preventing antimicrobial resistance is really important. Pharmacology is essential to that. So understanding how these antibiotics work, and then promoting that in the daily day-to-day practice as clinicians, but also in terms of research. So I think there is a great role in that, if that answers the question somehow.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Thank you.
can I add a point? Yeah, I think responsible use plus I think disposal as well matters a lot. And we see a lot of antimicrobial resistance in aquatic species, wildlife as well, and everything is getting trashed into oceans and every other place, so that affects too. Yeah.
I I am doubtful that if the present antibiotics will work anymore. I think they will not act accordingly to our wish, because there is the indiscriminate use of this antibiotics, especially in India, what I am telling. So how can we cure our animals without antibiotics? That is the question I want to ask you. Because antibiotics are not working so far the mastitis is concerned, brucellosis is concerned. In that case, when antibiotics are not responding, in what way that can be dealt with?
Yeah, well, I mean, it is a scary scenario where that eventually there will be no antibiotics working, but luckily so far we are still having antibiotics that are useful, and it's important that when we use them with the proper dose and proper dosing interval, and also proper duration of the course. And because even regular penicillin works very well. Still, I use it in all my horse cases and the occasional cow case, but I do a lot of horse work where we use penicillin, and it works, but you have to be able to you have to remember to have the proper dose, and often I find that there's a lot of underdosing. That's a rather common practice. So making sure that the dosing is correct as per the milligram per kilo for that particular antibiotic, for that particular animal species, and for the particular reason, and then correct dosing interval. So if it's twice a day or 3 times a day or 4 times a day, then it has to be followed that way, and then and not just once a day out of convenience. And then for the correct duration of the course, which is always couple of days to couple of weeks beyond the resolution of the clinical signs, depending on what the case is about. So if we're talking about skin diseases, we can go quite long in a deep pyoderma case, for example. But if we're talking something else, we would at least need to go a couple of days after the clinical signs of bacterial infection have disappeared. So and then this is related then client communication, which is really important part here. So that we communicate, we help them to get engaged with the treatment, and we follow up actively so that we make sure they don't discontinue. So it is a challenge. It's difficult. It's not easy, but we still have tools to use if we use them well.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, Dr. Ilona. I believe there are no further questions. I would like to continue this evening by calling Dr. Ratna for the further discussion.
Thank you, madam. Actually, for this woman in veterinary science expanding horizons, actually मैं veterinary science की नहीं हूँ, मैं basically home science की हूँ और agriculture extension में काम पढ़ाती हूँ. और अभी मैं जो पढ़ रही करती हूँ, मैं डीन कॉलेज ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर एंड रिसर्च स्टेशन नारायणपुर छत्तीसगढ़ है, वहां पर मैं पोस्टेड हूँ. आज के जो वेबिनार है वुमेन इन वेटनरी साइंस एंड एक्सपैंडिंग हॉरिजन्स, इसके आयोजक गण, मंच और पर उपस्थित सभी सम्मानित विशेषज्ञों, प्राध्यापक गण, शोधार्थियों और इस वेबिनार से जुड़े हुए जितने भी शोध प्रतिभागी हैं, उनको सभी को मेरा सादर प्रणाम है और नमस्कार. मैं हिंदी में इसलिए बोलूंगी कि बहुत सारे लोग जो है वो हिंदी रीजन से भी है, तो उनके लिए मैं इसको हिंदी में बोल रही हूँ. और मैं हृदय से सबसे पहले आयोजकों का धन्यवाद करना चाहूंगी कि मुझे अंतर्राष्ट्रीय महिला दिवस पर इस विषय पर बोलने का अवसर दिया गया है. मैं जहां तक समझती हूँ कि ये एक एकेडमिक चर्चा ही नहीं है, ये उन हजारों महिलाओं की कहानी है जो विज्ञान, सेवा और संवेदनशीलता के साथ में माध्यम से समाज में परिवर्तन ला रही हैं. और इस वेबिनार का मैं शुरुआत इस तरह से करना चाहूंगी, मैं अपनी बातों को इस तरह से रखना चाहूंगी कि एक गांव है, छोटा गांव है, और वहां पर एक किसान अपने बीमार पशु के साथ में खड़ा है, तो उसके सामने में साफ उसकी चेहरे की चिंता झलकती है कि पशु केवल एक जानवर नहीं है, वह उसके परिवार की आर्थिक सुरक्षा, आशा और भविष्य का आधार है। और उसी समय कोई वेटनरी डॉक्टर वहां पहुंच जाता है, तो वह डॉक्टर उसके लिए उम्मीद ही नहीं, भगवान होता है। और पशु चिकित्सा का विज्ञान के का असली महत्व यहाँ से शुरू हो जाता है। पशु चिकित्सा विज्ञान का केवल पशुओं का इलाज करने का कार्य नहीं है। अ, ये जुड़ा हुआ है, जैसे आप सभी वेटनरी वाले हैं तो आप जानते हैं कि ये जुड़ा हुआ है मानव स्वास्थ्य से, पोषण सुरक्षा से, ग्रामीण अर्थव्यवस्था से, पर्यावरण संतुलन से। और यह भारत के जो लाखों परिवार हैं उनके जीविका का पालन भी है। तो जहां तक हम दूध, अंडा, मांस और अन्य पशु उत्पाद को देखते हैं, वे केवल न हमें पोषण प्रदान करते हैं बल्कि ग्रामीण अर्थव्यवस्था को मजबूती भी देते हैं। और इसीलिए मैं एक बात हमेशा कहती हूँ, जब भी मैं गांव में जाती हूँ या कम्युनिटी डेवलपमेंट के प्रोग्राम्स करती हूँ, तो मैं एक बात जरूर कहती हूँ कि एक स्वस्थ पशु केवल एक जीव नहीं होता, बल्कि वह किसी किसान के परिवार की आर्थिक सुरक्षा का भी होता है और उसका कवच भी होता है। एक बात मैं यहाँ पर एक अपना ये उदाहरण सेट करना बताना चाहूंगी या साझा करना चाहूंगी कि मैं जिस एरिया में हूँ, यहाँ पर जो पशुपालन किया जाता है, जो कि अबूझमाड़ की एरिया है, यहाँ पर पशुओं को कभी बांध कर नहीं रखा जाता है और ना ही उनका दूध निकाला जाता है। कहा जाता है कि ये दूध जो है उनके बच्चों के लिए है, मतलब कि जो जानवर है उनके बच्चों के लिए है। तो यहाँ पर दूध की जो खपत है वो बहुत कम है। दूध जो हमको मिलना चाहिए, मतलब हम लोग भी जब दूध की व्यवस्था के लिए बोलते हैं, तो यहाँ पर दूध मिलना बहुत मुश्किल हो जाता है और बहुत मुश्किल से दूध मिलता है। तो इसमें हम लोगों ने कुछ कार्य अपने तरफ से किए थे और यहाँ पर थोड़ी सी जागरूकता उसमें लाया है। और जब हम इस चीज पे काम करने लगे, तो हमें ये पता चला कि जो वेटनरी डॉक्टर्स हैं, उन लोग जो इंटीरियर गांव है, वहां पर जाने के लिए काफी परेशानी होती है उनको, और महिलाओं को स्पेशली। तो इस चीज को हम ये बात देखने में आई कि दूर दराज क्षेत्रों में काम करना उनके लिए कठिन हो जाता है, कठिन परिस्थितियों में जाना जाता है, और बड़े पशुओं का उपचार करना। लेकिन आज जब मैं 8 साल बाद यहाँ की स्थिति को देखती हूँ, तो यह बात साबित करती है यहाँ पर जो महिला डॉक्टर्स लोग आई हुई हैं, कि संकल्प, ज्ञान और समर्पण के सामने कोई भी बड़ी चुनौती नहीं होती है। तो जब मैं और वे बहुत बड़ी बड़ी भूमिकाएं निभा रही है, जैसे कि क्लिनिकल प्रैक्टिस में, रिसर्च में, पब्लिक हेल्थ में, वाइल्ड लाइफ संरक्षण, जैसे अभी मैडम कह रही थी, और ग्रामीण विकास में वो भागीदारी नहीं, नेतृत्व भी कर रही है। तो यहाँ पर एक अनुभव मैं साझा करना चाहूंगी कि जब मैं राजनांदगांव में पोस्टेड थी, तो वहां पर हम लोगों ने जो महिलाएं थी उनका स्व सहायता समूह का, मैं ये कहानी बता रही हूँ आपको। स्व सहायता समूह था, जो एसएचजीज थे, उनमें से हम लोगों ने डेयरी फार्मिंग के लिए उन लोगों को मोटिवेट किया। तो उसमें पहले ये हुआ कि 2016-17 में कुछ ही इंटरेस्टेड वुमेन सामने आई, और उसमें से जो कि जबरदस्ती तो कर नहीं सकते हैं, क्योंकि पशुपालना जो है वो सभी लोग उसमें इंटरेस्टेड नहीं होते हैं। तो उस समय हमारे पास में सिर्फ जो शुरुआत हुई थी, वो पहले हम लोगों के साथ में जो 18 केसेस हमने लिए थे, उसमें 11 ही महिलाएं जो है वो सक्सेसफुल हो पाई थी पशुपालन केस में। और इसमें हम लोगों मतलब गवर्नमेंट की जो स्कीम थी, उसके अंतर्गत महिलाओं 40 महिलाओं को दो दो गाय दिलाई गई थी, और ये मोटिवेट किया गया था और समिति फॉर्म की गई थी। तो जब राजनांदगांव से मैं हटी थी, मतलब कि जब मैं वहां से ट्रांसफर हुई थी, तो मेरे पास में उस वहां पर टोटल 395 वुमेन इन्वॉल्व हुई थी। और उसमें जो है इन्होंने पूरा ज्वाइन किया, इसको रजिस्टर्ड एक कंपनी, उनकी कंपनी बनी थी, जो कि बमलेश्वरी दूध कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी संडी राजनांदगांव में है। जो खैरागढ़ जी इसमें है ब्लॉक में। और आज वह जो ये है, आज जो संडी की ये है दूध कंपनी, वह उसका टर्नओवर जो सालाना होता है वो करीबन 1 करोड़ के करीब पहुंच गया है, क्योंकि इसमें 395 वुमेन्स इन्वॉल्व है। और ये सब लोग अपना दूध जो है वो कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी को देती है, और वहां से वो कोऑपरेटिव सोसाइटी से दूसरी जगह पर जाता है, वहां से कोई कंपनी उनका हायर करती है। तो कहने का मतलब ये है कि कोई भी चीज हम लोग अगर करते हैं तो वह कार्य किया जा सकता है, और इसको बहुत अच्छे से किया जा सकता है। एक और है कि छोटा सा उदाहरण ये करना चाहूंगी कि एक गांव की महिला थी, वह उसके पास में 2 गाय थी, और वे उन लोगों उसकी दोनों गाय जो है वो स्वास्थ्य के बारे में उनकी ज्यादा जानकारी नहीं थी। तो उनको पशुपालन का प्रशिक्षण दिलवाया था, और उन्होंने जब संतुलित आहार देना शुरू किया, समय पर टीकाकरण कराया, स्वच्छता का ध्यान रखा, तो कुछ समय बाद उनकी उत्पादन और उसके आय बढ़ गई। और तब मुझे यह महसूस हुआ कि ज्ञान और प्रशिक्षण किसी भी समाज को बदलने की सबसे बड़ी शक्ति होता है। और अभी हम जब बात कर रहे थे कि वन हेल्थ का बात हो रही थी, तो वो उसके जो 3 चीजें हैं, उसके ऊपर जो ज्यादा बिंदु केंद्रित है वह है मानव स्वास्थ्य, पशु स्वास्थ्य और पर्यावरण स्वास्थ्य। ये तीनों एक दूसरे से जुड़े हैं, और जो नई बीमारियां और महामारियां होती है उस वो हमें यह सिखाती है कि अगर पशु स्वस्थ होंगे तो मानव समाज भी स्वस्थ होगा। और अंत में मैं यह कहना चाहूंगी कि आज की महिला केवल सीमाओं को पार नहीं कर रही है, बल्कि नए क्षितिज बना रही है। पशु पशु चिकित्सा विज्ञान में महिलाओं का योगदान केवल विज्ञान को आगे नहीं बढ़ा रहा है, बल्कि एक अधिक स्वस्थ, समृद्ध और संवेदनशील समाज का निर्माण कर रहा है। और यह संकल्प आज हम लेना चाहेंगे। मैं इसी बात से अपनी वाणी को विराम दूंगी। हम महिलाओं को अवसर देंगे, उनके नेतृत्व को प्रोत्साहित करेंगे, और विज्ञान के माध्यम से समाज के विकास को मिलकर योगदान देंगे। तो इसी आशा के साथ कि हम महिलाओं को आगे बढ़ाएंगे और उनको अपॉर्चुनिटीज देंगे, तो वे निश्चित ही तौर पे एक समाज का नेतृत्व करेगी। और इसी आशा के साथ में और इसी विश्वास के साथ में मैं अपनी वाणी को विराम देती हूँ। धन्यवाद।
रत्ना मैम, अपने मूल्यवान अनुभव और विचार हमारे साथ साझा करने के लिए आपका हार्दिक धन्यवाद। आपकी बातें हम सभी के लिए अत्यंत प्रेरणादायक और ज्ञानवर्धक रही है। Anybody that wants to interact with Ratna ma'am or any questions, kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. As a
Yes,
senior,
sir.
yes, as a senior veterinarian, I have something to talk on women in veterinary science that everybody
Yes,
should
yes,
know. Yes,
sure. Welcome, sir.
that's my point that I should talk. So, first of all, before going to that women in veterinary science, I would like to tell you that veterinary science is also linked with the environmental science. What Madam was talking now, veterinary science
Yeah.
is also linked with the environmental science. Animal health depends on ecological conditions such as climate, habitat, and availability of food and water. Environmental
Sure, sir.
disturbances like deforestation or climate change may alter disease patterns and affect wildlife as well as domestic animals. That's one thing. Then comes the One Health concept. Madam was talking now. These interconnections have led to the modern concept known as One Health. One Health recognizes that human health, animal health, and environmental health are inseparable. Veterinarians therefore work together with medical doctors, environmental scientists, and public health experts to safeguard global health. Now come women in veterinary science. Within this demanding profession, women have made remarkable progress. Many believe that women bring qualities such as empathy, patience, and nurturing instinct that complement veterinary service. These qualities are often strengthened through the biological and emotional experiences associated with motherhood. Maternal instinct and animal care. Animals are silent sufferers. They cannot explain their pain. Therefore, compassion and patience become very important in veterinary treatment. Many farmers observe that mammals feel calmer when treated with gentle handling. The nurturing instinct found in many women veterinarians therefore becomes a valuable asset in animal care. If we'll go to the early stage in history, shows inspiring examples of women who enter veterinary science despite social barriers. One such pioneer was Agnes Schaberk, who became one of the first women in Europe to earn a doctoral degree in veterinary medicine. Her achievement opened opportunities for women in scientific education. Struggle for professional recognition. Another important pioneer was Aline Cost, who struggled for many years to gain official recognition as a veterinary surgeon in Britain. Her persistence ultimately changed professional attitudes and allowed women to enter the veterinary profession more freely. So, women in veterinary research. Women have also contributed significantly to veterinary research. Scientists such as Daria Nina Love advanced the study of infectious diseases affecting animals. Their work strengthened scientific knowledge essential for disease control. Women veterinarians in India. In India, women veterinarians are now actively engaged in livestock development programs, veterinary universities, and research institutions. They contribute to vaccination campaigns, reproductive management, and farmer education. Their work directly supports rural livelihoods and food security. And women veterinarians are also play important roles in wildlife conservation. They help rescue injured animals, monitor diseases in wildlife populations, and assist in breeding programs for endangered species. Their work contributes to ecological balance and biodiversity protection. So, this is what the present veterinarians. So, William told that, I forgot his name, that the veterinarians are the best doctors because they understand the pain of the dumb animals. And I think that not the veterinarians, the lady veterinarians, they are the actual doctors whose services to the animals are better than that of the other veterinarians. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for adding your words. From where I am coming, this is the Abujmad area, and ये एक ऐसा एरिया है भारत का जहाँ पर अभी तक सर्वे नहीं हुआ था, अभी जस्ट 6-7 महीने पहले से शुरू हुआ है या 8-10 महीने से। और बहुत इंटीरियर गांव में जब काम करते हैं तो मेरे साथ जो वेटनरी डॉक्टर यहाँ पर थी वो काम कर रही, हम लोग साथ में जाते थे, तो मैंने देखा है कि जो लेडीज है वो जेंट्स से बहुत अच्छा हैंडल करती है चीजों को। और मैं ये नहीं कहूंगी कि जेंट्स नहीं करते हैं, लेडीज बहुत अच्छे से करती है, बिकॉज उनके अंदर जो एक नेचुरल मदरहुड का एक ये प्राप्त है उनको, उसमें वो
Yeah.
बहुत अच्छे से वर्क करती है। तो सर ये वाली चीज को मैं इसलिए नहीं बोली कि मतलब होता है ना कि डिस्क्रिमिनेशन हो जाता है कि अरे आप वुमेन को बोल रहे हैं, लेकिन बिकॉज वी हैव गॉट दैट इन बचपन से ही एक हम लोगों के साथ में लव केयरिंग वाला नेचर होता है, मदरहुड वाला नेचर होता है, तो जानवरों को लेडीज लोग यहाँ पर बहुत अच्छे से हैंडल कर लेती है। और अगर जितने भी यहाँ पर चराने भी जाते हैं, मतलब यहाँ पर लेके जाते हैं जब चराने के लिए, तो वो महिलाएं ही लेके जाती है, नॉट पुरुष, नॉट जेंट्स। तो वो इसका एक मैंने मतलब जो एक देखा था वो इस तरह से मैंने उसको स्टडी किया कि एक केयरिंग बहुत अच्छे से होती है एंड वो एनिमल्स को हैंडल बहुत अच्छे से करती है। यहाँ पर जो एक ट्राइबल वुमेन है वो बहुत अच्छे से हैंडल करती है। तो ये आपने वॉट एवर यू हैव सेड इट्स वेरी करेक्ट कि लेडीज जो है वो उनके अंदर में वो गुण पहले से ही होता है, तो वो बहुत अच्छे से नर्चरिंग कर लेती है। थैंक यू वेरी मच सर फॉर एडिंग दिस। थैंक यू।
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Thank you, Nanda sir, for your views and thoughts. It's a very pleasure for all of us to hear a male veterinarian speak about empowering women. I would now like to request Dr. Bommu Meenakshi Reddy to begin her talk. I think Dr. Meenakshi Reddy is having connectivity issues. She'll get back. If there's anybody else that would like to talk or share their views.
Hello, is the meeting still going on?
Yes, it is. One second, Doctor. Dr. Meenakshi, can you hear me?
Yes, yes,
She's
Ashita.
yes. Okay. Thank you, Doctor. It's you can begin now.
Okay. So hello everyone. My name is Dr. Meenakshi, and I am currently pursuing my MVSc in Public Health and Epidemiology, Veterinary Public Health and Epidemiology, and I have had the opportunity to work in Project Cheetah, which is one of the conservation projects that is going on under WII, and I would like to share my experience. I myself am a very recently graduated veterinarian, and I myself, navigated. I was very confused with what to do. Uh, so I hopefully it will be very helpful for young veterinarians who are, veterinary students who are attending this webinar. And thank you so much for this opportunity, that my voice is, being heard by so many people. And I would like to present as well, Ashita.
Sure, Doctor. There is an option for more, and you can.
Okay.
I think there's an option of present. Rimpa, could you please help us with this? Doctor, do you have a present symbol below you?
Yes, present. Wait. Not
Present
really.
a share screen or a
Share,
broadcast?
share. Can you view the screen?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Yes, doctor. You can increase the.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you need to click on the, yeah, it is on the full screen, ma'am.
Uh, so I would like to interact with the students that are attending the program. Is anyone interested in pursuing their profession in wildlife or anything related to wildlife?
Yes, me. I want to learn about wildlife conservation and be a member for it.
Yeah, so um just starting, like, I just want to talk about the doubts that I had personally. I navigated my way through. I never really had anyone to look up to, and how to actually apply for a job or how to get into one. I really had no clue. So just try to get involved in birding or any community related works that are going on regarding wildlife, and then you can also do networking with people who are affiliated with wildlife, and then just explore, go out there, do get into internships and explore, and try to do a lot of internships. Knowing what you want is important, but knowing what you don't want is the most important as well. So, yeah, now I would like to start my presentation. So, this is a general presentation, guys. I will be sharing the information, basic information on conservation medicine, and what my role was like and what I had to do, because I didn't have any idea when I was getting into it. So, yeah. So, what is conservation medicine? Basically, it's an interdisciplinary field which links wildlife health and ecosystem health and human health. And that is where I really got interested in public health, and I really wanted to pursue because I was really interested in the interface. And then it focuses on the prevention, not just the treatment. And it integrates veterinary medicine, ecology, epidemiology, public health, and climate science. Basically, conservation medicine treats ecosystem as its patient. So it's just, for example, now we'll be talking about Project Cheetah. So this is extra information that I am sharing with you. If anyone is interested, can take a screenshot. So why is conservation medicine important today? Because wildlife health, ecosystem health, and human health are inseparable. Most of the species, the food cycle and food chain, most of the diseases, they need a sink. So that's where this is important. This is the One Health part that I was talking about. Yeah, there is. So I will be giving an example of cheetahs because I worked in the project. Cheetahs actually disappeared. They used to be there, and there is a lot of history about cheetahs, and there are different stories as well regarding this. So tigers were protected since a long time, and cheetahs actually never were concentrated on. Then people never concentrated on cheetahs. Um, so that is one of the reason why cheetahs disappeared silently from India. Nobody really focused on them. And then talking about the history of cheetahs, they were declared extinct in 1952. It was mostly due to habitat loss and hunting and the decline. Why did cheetahs go extinct, right? So, because of excessive hunting, but also habitat loss and fragmentation. One point that I would like to focus on is grasslands were considered as wastelands. So, this was the main problem which affects human health and basically, according to municipality rules, the unused land, grasslands, are considered as wastelands, and they can use it to dump waste. So they used to just dump. So that is one of the reason. And overgrazing, all the livestock were left in the forest regions, in grasslands, I mean, not in the grasslands, and they used to overgraze. So that also caused habitat loss. And grasslands are really important because they are one of the systems wherein large amounts of carbon is stored, and they're more resilient to droughts. And people, there are a lot of anthropogenic factors as well, settlements happening in the area, and so many other things. So this conservation medicine focuses on flagship species or umbrella species, wherein we are trying to protect other species as well using them. Uh, so the main aim of the project was to protect grasslands and improve the ecosystem biodiversity of grasslands. Yeah. So how do cheetahs protect grassland ecosystem? They regulate the herbivore population, they prevent overgrazing, and they reflect open grassland health. And conserving cheetahs safeguards large connected grasslands, and ecosystem balance limits mesopredator dominance, and stabilizing food web. Cheetah conservation in India is conservation medicine in action, because there are other conservation programs happening as well. But this is one of the largest, I mean, very vast conservation medicine that is happening in India, because we are focusing on habitat restoration, not just the cheetah health. We are not just breeding them, but we are protecting the grassland, and we are also trying to improve the biodiversity of grasslands, wherein there were other open migratory birds that come in through. There are more other species like pangolins and caracals. They have a very similar habitat, uh, so they also thrive. Yeah, this is the objectives: restore cheetahs to Indian grassland ecosystem, improve grassland conservation, establish a suitable free-ranging population, and strengthen India's conservation science capacity. So one of the thing that I would like students to know is, we have steps of disease risk analysis. Whenever you bring an animal, fly it and bring it to other place, right? You have to follow few steps when you're translocating wildlife, I mean wild animals, so carnivores specifically. And key risk assessed: infectious diseases screening, and transportation and capture stress should be monitored. Habitat suitability will be checked prior bringing, and also the prey based population. Human wildlife conflict should be tackled. And people are unaware of different carnivores. They don't know. Often people refer to leopards as cheetahs too in remote villages. And creating awareness, educating them, that as well as plays a very important role. And genetic and demographic risks that come with this is the risk assessment that should be done prior translocation, pre-translocation. And source of the population: wild cheetahs from Namibia, South Africa, and Botswana recently. And also health screening them, and following quarantine protocols, parasite and disease testing, and selection of suitable individuals. And pre-export conditions should be also checked. International transport source country is India. There are few rules that you need to follow. IATA compliant transport crates uh, should be used. Continuous veterinary monitoring is provided, and stress minimization protocols are followed. Air transport under expert supervision. Quarantine. The next step is quarantine and soft release conditions. Kuno National Park, now Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary, uh, also has cheetahs. Post arrival quarantine and health monitoring, acclimatization, soft release enclosures, and then behavioral adaptations to the habitat is also monitored. And then the last step is to release them in the wild, and soft release protocol is followed prior releasing them. GPS satellite collaring is done, controlled gate opening, continuous post release monitoring is done, daily monitoring is done. uh, Post release focus is survival and movement patterns are studied, prey selection is studied, and disease surveillance is to be done continuously throughout the whole process, and human interface is to be studied as well. So this slide is about why this is getting too specific actually. If anyone wants to take us SC, they are free to. So this is the thing I want to talk about is a veterinary role before translocation. This is everything is included in the disease risk assessment that I have explained, and basically for translocation of any wildlife species, you have to study the uh, suitable landscape that you're going to translocate the animal into. That is the most important. And also studying the if any other carnivore is already existing there and home range, which can lead to conflict between them, then which in turn will affect the cheetah, because very low population we are bringing from different places, right? That is to actually maintain the genetic diversity. Adequate prey base has to be checked, and lower human density landscape is often selected. And obviously, there should be a strong support from forest department side, and these are the agencies and authorities involved. This is how we prepare the site before bringing cheetahs. And why are most of them can question why are leopards excluded? That is, they are dominant competitors and can prey and displace cheetahs during early acclimatization. Basically, newly released cheetahs are unfamiliar with the terrain and prey, increasing the vulnerability to injury, kill, stealing, and stress. Predator pressure elevates stress and disease risk, reducing hunting success, and temporary localized exclusion during soft release allows cheetahs to adapt, hunt, and establish movement patterns, improving early survival without harming resident carnivores. So, decreasing the stress is also should be checked upon, that we are not causing much stress to the animal. So, major health and disease concern. Cause of mortality are often stress, and which causes immunosuppression, and also feline in general. They are very much prone to fractures and injuries, traumas. Most of the cubs died due I mean, get affected due to fractures and stuff like that. And starvation, dehydration is also, I would say, because when you introduce an animal which is very unfamiliar with the landscape, uh, they have to, explore the grassland, and getting to the water source as well is important. So we have to interfere, or providing hydration to them and stuff like that in the starting, to just to get them acclimatized to the habitat. And human related factors such as roads and snares and everything has to be taken care of wherever the cheetahs are during soft release period at least. So at current there are around 53 cheetahs in the project successfully they have bred. And the main part is not just protecting cheetahs, it's also to support other species. That is one of the important point to keep in mind. It's not about how many cheetahs are there, but how much land is under um, free ranging, where free ranging cheetahs are moving. In return it helps to um, the grasslands to thrive. In turn, there is a balance in the grassland ecosystem and reviving them. That is the most important part. Success is measured by long-term population as establishment, and not just talking about the deaths. There were highest risk during the first year after release uh, was prevalent, and mortality decreases with adaptation and monitoring. Initially, mortality is expected. Long-term persistence defines success. So the next. And also, I would like to know how many of you guys are aware with monitoring. The students, veterinary students, are aware of the monitoring of carnivores or any species. It might be aquatic species as well. Just a second. So I would like to know how many of you are aware of the techniques and methods used in monitoring of wildlife, different species, or any taxa. I mean, any taxa. You can just share it um in the comment section. And also, if any one of you has doubts regarding anything, please do ask. So one of the important point that I would like to share is we rediscovered caracal in Gandhi Sagar Wildlife Sanctuary, and why it matters is because caracal. If any one of you are aware of caracal, it's a feline species, and it is called as ghost also because it is very rarely seen, and there are very few of them left in the wild. So um it was not captured in 20 years in the landscape, and right after 6 months of after 6 months of cheetah's arrival, we have captured the caracal, and it indicates that the habitat quality is really improving, and presence of cryptic carnivores is and it creates a healthy prey base as well. So my experience and my insights from the field as a veterinarian, you have to basically collaborate with so many people uh, who are from different fields, and being really present there. And um it's it's just not about the veterinary part, the treatment part, but you have to also focus on the other aspects as well. For example, as a project associate, my role was very broad, and I had to manage and keep an eye on other people's work as well, and collaborating with them, because zoologists and ecologists, people from wildlife, I learned a lot from them as well. So you should always be open to learning. That is one of the important thing that I would like to share. And just keep open mindset. And for this Women's Day, I would like, be compassionate and empathetic, and um, do something that is meaningful and satisfies you. Uh, your work at the end of the day should satisfy. That is the main, that should be the main motive of your work. Then you will actually enjoy, and it will create a meaningful impact. That is really important. And also, I was sharing this information, even though this is, quite apart, it's very different from what others spoke. I am a recent graduate. I don't have a lot of experience compared to Dr. Otter ma'am, or other doctors as well who are present. So I am sharing my perspective and what I have done in this project to to the veterinary students, because most of them have no idea or clue. And this is true actually. Most of them don't know what their role might look like, which is actually scary to a recent graduate without any experience, other good experience in, carnivore species or anything of that sort. So you should be open and attend workshops, talk to people, make a good networking with other doctors as well. And you can learn from your juniors too, and it's not that big of a deal. And just know everything. You have to accept the fact that no one knows completely everything, and sharing knowledge and information in veterinary field is very important as well, uh, to keep yourself updated. And also, just share information with your roommate or your colleague, or anything related to veterinary field, that would be really helpful. And most of the people are unaware of the options that are available in veterinary field as well. You can also become an epidemiologist, veterinary officer. Those works are amazing. You can also pursue so many other things and explore and know what you don't want to do, because that is more important than what you like. So just explore and navigate your way through and get into stuff. uh, then you'll know what it is about, right? You have to actually practically do it to able to know how it is. And so many people actually asked me in my social media as well, ki, how did you get into this project? That is really important, because I didn't see myself getting into any such thing, even Project Cheetah. So first of all, you should subscribe to different websites like FOA, or whatever field you're related to or interested in. Like, for example, if you want to work with NGOs or WI, get into the website, um, go look for the job opportunities.
Please continue, doctor.
Yeah. So I would like to share some lessons that learned from cheetah conservation. So, conservation fails without health planning, and disease prevention is more effective than treatment. Stress management is important as drug, and long-term monitoring is essential. Veterinarians are central to success. A healthy ecosystem requires healthy animals. So I would like to end my presentation. Cheetah conservation in India proves that without conservation medicine, uh, conservation cannot succeed. And future of conservation medicine, right? You can also pursue, if anyone is interested, they can also pursue a master's in veterinary biostatistics and bioinformatics, which is also really helpful, and get yourself accustomed with GIS and telemetry and AI, climate linked disease predictions, stuff like this. That would be really helpful if you want to get into this field, because future conservation will be data driven and vet led. So extinction is not inevitable, inaction is. And thank you so much. uh,
Thank you, Dr.
and
Meenakshi. Thank you so much. You have turned today into a learning day, and I'm an intern, and I have learned a lot today about cheetah conservation, disease surveillance. I do have a question. Um, uh,
yeah,
which program did you use for disease surveillance? Like, did you put the GPS tracking chips into the released cheetah? And then did you perform some sort of statistical, like there is softwares, right, for disease surveillance? So do you know what
yeah,
the team has done there? Thank you.
yeah. Actually, we have the IVRA team was also involved in this disease surveillance, and Dr. Sanat Krishnamulya sir from NTCA, who leads Project Cheetah, and Dr. Sumit, and there are other doctors involved as well. And myself being the first woman veterinarian to actually learn from Project Cheetah and work was a very good experience and very insightful. I learned a lot of things. So, coming to your question, Dr. Bhavna, um, actually, the disease surveillance, they had taken a reference of Serengeti, because the cheetahs we bought were almost similar, except the fact the only the skin thickness and the coat is different in African and Asiatic cheetahs. So, since we have bought Asiatic cheetahs um, to India for translocation and conservation program in India that is happening. We bought African cheetahs. So from Serengeti. So for what is Serengeti? Serengeti, there was a research work. I think 70 years long research work done on cheetahs, which is very long, right? And all of the patterns that they have studied in disease, all of them were taken in base. And we have also compared wherever we are going to translocate in the habitat. We have done um, studies in livestock and the patterns of diseases, that outbreaks that happened during past few years and everything, and they have created the uh, base for this thing before translocation. Compiling everything, we you have a report there out in WI, which you can refer to, which is because this is a very vast thing.
Thank you, doctor. And like you applied for the cheetah project. Is there like a selection criteria, or do they have like a portal if somebody is interested in wildlife and
Yeah,
wants to work
yeah.
there?
So there are so many portals, right? Either you can be a veterinary officer and be deputed into the project through the forest department or the state government, or you can also work through WI in the project. There are so many conservation projects, and WI has a portal. You go to the website WI and Wildlife Institute of India. You will find a portal in news and events where you can go through the um, job vacancies that are available, and you can apply. And you have to go through, you have to submit your documents, screening will be done, then you have to go through an interview, after which selection will be taken. Yeah. You also have so many NGOs, right? Not just this conservation program, but anyone interested in um, any rehabilitation work, rescue work. Uh, you know, you can always go to so many NGOs are there available in India. You can go to their website and look up for the job vacancies. There is anyone, if anyone is interested in traveling and working as well, there are options. There is a website called Loop Abroad. I'm so sorry, there is a power cut in the area. Loop Abroad, also you can apply for job opportunities in conservation programs, where you'll be having an opportunity to travel and also um, and work with wildlife. Plus you can apply to Rescue City, an NGO which is located in Mumbai, Wildlife SOS, and Wildlife Trust of India. And there are so many other NGOs that work with wildlife. You can apply, and there might be 2 rounds of interview, and then you will get selected. And priorly they ask you for experience, right? Myself, I got into birding. I'm a birder, active birder. So with that experience, I got an opportunity to work with ICER institution and collecting samples for their phylogenetic work, for the screening of wild birds, disease outbreak in wild birds, like avian malaria and avian influenza. So that experience was very useful for me, and I volunteered in SACON institution. SACON is a Salim Ali Ornithology Institution, which is a human wildlife conflict center of WIA in South. So I got an opportunity to intern as well there, and this experience helped me to get the job that I got. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Reddy. Uh, I will try to apply for those internships as well. I'm also interested in wildlife conservation. And thank you for your presentation. It was very insightful.
Thank you so much. Actually, I didn't have anything relevant to Women's Day, because I feel like it is always about supporting each other and sharing information that will be actually useful for you, um, for whatever you want to pursue, and look up to people. I want more people in women in wildlife, because it is mostly male dominated. I am the only veterinarian with just undergraduation who was working there. So I want people to look up to me, and not just hesitate to apply, because I was among one of them. Because it is a very huge thing, right? You're going alone in a forest area where there is no one to look up to or talk to, you know women. And parents being so scared and unsure if they should send you or not, that is a huge obstacle. And for people to look up to some other person and being able to go there and work is really what I want to show. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Okay. I would like to sincerely thank all our speakers today, and for the official closing of this event and vote of thanks, I invite Dr. Varsha Nanotkar to conclude this event. Dr. Varsha, if you're there.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Bhavna. And first of all, congratulate all, and Happy Women's Day to all the participants and speakers and hosts. And I am investing some vote of thanks to all of you. But before that, I conclude my some lines about the Women's Day, which gives the encouragement to work in the field in most relevant way. So you can hear some words I make in the poem way. ऊंची बुलंदियां बुला रही खुद को बुलंद कर तो सही, ऊंची बुलंदियां बुला रही खुद को बुलंद कर तो सही, नीला आसमान कद नाप रहा, नीला आसमान कद नाप रहा, खुद को ऊंचा कर तो सही, खुद को ऊंचा कर तो सही। बहुत उपलब्धियां लुभा रही, बहुत उपलब्धियां लुभा रही, आगे कदम बढ़ा तो सही, आगे कदम बढ़ा तो सही। पंखों में है उड़ने की शक्ति, पंखों में है उड़ने की शक्ति, ऊंची उड़ान भर तो सही, ऊंची उड़ान भर तो सही। पहचान करने वालों की नहीं है कमी, पहचान करने वालों की नहीं है कमी, खुद से खुद की पहचान कर तो सही, खुद से खुद की पहचान कर तो सही। These are the lines for encouragement of my all veterinarians to work better in the field. So I am investing some words about all the dignitaries who spoke here very nicely. Dr. Ilona Otter ma'am, WVA senior advisor, Dr. Bommu Meenakshi Reddy, who very relevantly spoke about the wild animals and cheetahs conservation and preventive strategies. Dr. Ratna Nashine ma'am, who is Dean of College Veterinary, Chhattisgarh, Narayanpur. She is also investing some few words about her field experiences. And host Miss Ashita ma'am, Dr. Bhavna Dabas, Dr. Vandana Bhagat ma'am, who are very relevantly and nicely organized these sessions. And thanks to all the participants who drive very valuable time from daily routine to present the webinar. And this webinar will definitely strengthen the veterinary field with the extension of different topics. Everyone's contribution will definitely strengthen the community and the whole veterinary world. So thanks to all the participants and dignitaries and respected ma'ams, and happy Women's Day to all. We will soon meet in another webinar. This is the start now. And this is the start of the webinar and to meet once again. Thanks to all.
Thank you, ma'am. Actually, Dr. Muli Ganga Lahiri has one question, if I can address that question.
Yeah, okay.
So she is asking if there is any chance to enter the project ongoing. Doctor, you have an opening in GIB project. Veterinary posts are, I think vacancies are available. You can actually go for WI website and check through the postings, right? Yeah, I hope that is helpful.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much for giving us a vote of thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Varsha. I think we can exit the space.
I would like to thank VetNet for their support always through our webinars.